Summary of Small Data, The Tiny Clues That Uncover Huge Trends by Martin Lindstrom. Enjoyed the video. Please subscribing to my channel for more great content like this. You'll be notified when I upload new videos. Small Data, The Tiny Clues That Uncover Huge Trends is a book by Martin Lindstrom, published in 2016. Lindstrom is a branding expert and consumer insights specialist. The book focuses on the importance of small, seemingly insignificant details in understanding consumer behavior and identifying emerging trends. Here's a detailed summary of the key concepts and ideas presented in the book. 1. The concept of small data. Lindstrom defines small data as tiny clues found in consumer behavior, often overlooked, that can reveal significant insights about human desires and needs. He contrasts this with big data, arguing that while big data is useful, it often misses the nuanced, human elements of consumer behavior. 2. Immersive research methodology. Lindstrom describes his unique approach to consumer research, which involves living with consumers in their homes and closely observing their daily habits and environments. He emphasizes the importance of direct, personal observation over relying solely on surveys or statistical data. 3. Cultural context. The book stresses the importance of understanding cultural nuances and how they impact consumer behavior across different regions and countries. 4. Subconscious motivations. Lindstrom explores how small details can reveal subconscious desires and motivations that consumers themselves may not be aware of. 5. Case studies. The book is rich with case studies from Lindstrom's global consulting work. Some notable examples include how the placement of stuffed animals in Russian homes led to insights about social dynamics and product design. How observing Saudi Arabian women's makeup habits revealed opportunities for a global brand. How the way people eat pizza in different countries provided insights for a furniture company. 6. Connecting disparate clues. Lindstrom demonstrates how seemingly unrelated observations can be connected to form meaningful insights about consumer trends. 7. The power of observation. The book emphasizes the importance of keen observation skills in understanding consumer behavior. Lindstrom provides techniques for honing these observational skills. 8. Emotional connections. The author explores how small details can create strong emotional connections between consumers and brands. 9. Brand relevance. Lindstrom discusses how understanding small data can help brands stay relevant and connect more authentically with consumers. 10. Global versus local insights. The book explores the tension between global trends and local peculiarities, and how brands can navigate this complexity. 11. The limitations of traditional market research. Lindstrom critiques conventional market research methods, arguing that they often miss crucial insights that can only be gained through immersive observation. 12. The role of intuition. While emphasizing data-driven insights, Lindstrom also discusses the importance of intuition in interpreting small data. 13. Future trend prediction. The book provides a framework for using small data to predict future trends and consumer behaviors. 14. The human element in the digital age. Lindstrom argues for the continued importance of understanding human behavior in an increasingly digital world. 15. Cross-cultural insights. The book provides numerous examples of how small data insights can be applied across different cultural contexts. 16. Brand strategy. Lindstrom demonstrates how small data insights can inform effective brand strategies and product development. 17. Consumer psychology. The book delves into various aspects of consumer psychology, exploring why people make the choices they do. 18. The ethics of observation. Lindstrom touches on the ethical considerations of his immersive research methods. 19. Combining small data with big data. The author suggests ways to integrate small data insights with big data analytics for more comprehensive understanding. Small data is written in an engaging, storytelling style, making complex consumer behavior concepts accessible to a wide audience. It challenges readers to pay closer attention to the small details in their environment and consider how these might reflect larger societal trends or consumer needs. The book is particularly relevant for marketers, brand managers, product developers, and anyone interested in consumer behavior and trend forecasting. However, it's worth noting that while Lindstrom's approach is innovative, it's also subjective and may not always be scalable or generalizable to all situations. The book should be read as a complement to, rather than a replacement for, more traditional forms of market research and data analysis. Overview. Alfred Hitchcock's movies always manage to keep the audience on the edge of their seats through a series of climactic sequences. The British director is known for his ability in creating stories filled with suspense, thanks to his ability to control the feelings that we, as humans, all share. Hitchcock has a methodology that favors the effective development of his work. He simultaneously uses two separate scripts when making his films. The blue script is dedicated to documenting the functional aspects of the shooting process, for instance, the scenarios, camera angles, and dialogues. The second script, called the green script, in addition to outlining the main storyline and plot of the film, describes the characters' emotions and complex psyches with meticulous attention to detail. Moreover, Hitchcock's green script focuses not only on the emotional state of his characters, but also on how the audience would feel and react to them. In this way, Hitchcock can control the pace of the film and, at the same time, have an accurate understanding of the emotions experienced by viewers. Hitchcock's blue and green script strategy is also applicable to brand marketing. As a matter of fact, many renowned global brands are experts at analyzing the psyche of their customers. For instance, Apple stores are projected to resemble the structure of a modern art museum. The interior is spacious, display tables are simple, and the products are evenly organized on top of them. The purpose of Apple's interior design is to assure that customers focus their attention on the product. Considering from an emotional perspective, the goal of this layout is to unlock a subconscious association of Apple products with artwork, thus further highlighting their value. In today's information era, every action of a user may leave traces on countless internet websites. Data from 2020 shows that every minute, around 147,000 pictures were uploaded on Facebook, 500 hours of videos were added on YouTube, 347,222 stories were posted on Instagram, and more than 41.6 million pieces of information, including texts, voice messages and pictures were sent through WhatsApp. Furthermore, the amount of money that was spent in this minute reached around $1 million. However, these numbers are just the tip of the iceberg and represent only a small fraction of the amount of information that is exchanged online. This amount increases every second and the number of internet users joining the process of information production grows incessantly. Different products and services move to online platforms every day, creating a flow worth paying attention to. The information explosion and the multitude of online platforms available have fragmented our attention. Thus, the main goal of marketing professionals in recent years has been to win over the attention of internet users by relying on statistics and results obtained through the examination of big data. However, even if they do succeed in attracting users' attention, the effectiveness of such marketing strategies cannot be fully guaranteed. For instance, Pekawen, a well-known Chinese cosmetics brand, once launched a phenomenal campaign by employing advertisements in the form of long pictures on social media, which attracted positive attention. Although people did appreciate this form of advertising, the marketing results obtained after the campaign were not satisfactory. Even if a marketing campaign becomes widely popular online, if it fails to effectively promote operational growth, it can only be regarded as unsuccessful. Despite the fact that Google's search engine can record the input methods of every user and analyze the related information, the company has officially stated that they are unable to understand what users are really thinking. Google handles big data on a global scale and applies top-notch technology to do so. For example, Google's software can determine a user's credit rating with an accuracy rate as high as 79%, based on the frequency of capital letters used when typing. However, the company believes that the amount of user information it has available is extremely limited, as big data analytics can only help decoding people's behavior patterns, not their real intentions. Additionally, online and offline personalities tend to differ, making big data analysis even more challenging. Then, what kind of marketing strategy is more effective than the use of big data? An analysis of Lego's 2 strategic transformations can serve as a basis to answer this question. Lego is a Danish toy manufacturer founded in 1932. Its worldwide popularity is based on the company's main product, toy blocks that are used to stimulate children's creativity. Lego's first brand revolution happened around 1981, when video games have become a new trend with the launch of the world's first handheld game. In every research conducted by LEGO using big data, results showed that the instant gratification created by video games were correlated to the losses in LEGO's market share. Children growing up with these games no longer had the patience and time to play with old-fashioned toy blocks. Evidently, LEGO's sales declined considerably during those years. To survive and keep growing as a brand, LEGO initiated a comprehensive transformation. The company stopped considering toy blocks only as its main product, and began investing in other commodities: video games, children's clothing, books, magazines. Going even further, they built theme parks and retail malls, and developed TV shows. Nonetheless, none of these fields could even come close to replacing LEGO blocks as the company's core product. LEGO needed a copious amount of investment to fund all these changes. At the beginning of 2003, their sales began to decline sharply and went down 30% when compared to previous years. In 2004, sales dropped by another 10%. LEGO had now entered a phase that could mean its downfall. At the time, LEGO invited Lindstrom, the author behind the book we now discuss, to become its brand strategy consultant. He helped LEGO's team conduct an in-depth interview with some of their young users. Among them, there was an 11-year-old German boy. When asked about the thing he valued most, his answer was an old pair of sneakers that he often used to go skateboarding. The importance of the pair of shoes laid in each trace of wear that proved to his friends that he was the greatest skateboarder in town. It was immediately clear that, although children may enjoy a feeling of instant gratification, they were still willing to devote long periods of time to master a certain skill so that they can gain the respect and support of their peers. Therefore, since learning how to build with LEGOs also demands time, it was likely that the company would not completely lose its market share. It turned out that the previous research based on the use of big data had pointed out a wrong direction to LEGO's executives. Consequently, LEGO transformed itself one more time. Building blocks became again its core product, and all those businesses that could not serve LEGO's purposes were abolished. After 10 years of hard work, LEGO's sales increased by 11% in the first half of 2014, exceeding $2 billion. LEGO also managed to defeat its main rival Mattel for the first time, becoming the largest toy manufacturer in the world. In this story, what had given LEGO a new direction was a pair of old sneakers of a German 11-year-old boy. Lindstrom categorized it as small data. What is small data? In our daily communication, 90% of our information is conveyed through nonverbal signs. These include gestures, facial expressions, speech patterns, and other elements. Likewise, on the internet, for example, each user's personal status and tweets can reflect their personal emotions and opinions. Even the combination of login passwords can reflect a person's traits and habits. All these hidden clues in people's everyday life are what Lindstrom defines as small data. For brand marketers in the 21st century, identifying the consumer's mentality, hidden emotions, deep-seated motivations, and desires is crucial to seize business opportunities. Truly succeeding in understanding consumers requires in-depth and meticulous observations that can trigger keen insights. This is precisely the key to Lindstrom's consistently successful brand marketing planning, and it sums up his research method centered around the concept of small data. There is a popular saying that goes, "If you want to understand how animals live, you don't go to the zoo, you go to the jungle." Understanding consumers follows quite the same logic. We need to observe and experience lives without any sort of preconceived notions. Such in-depth study will yield far better results than any group-based research. Hence, Lindstrom deems it necessary to collect small data that can reflect the consumer's true feelings from an observer's perspective, even before making any marketing plans. He calls this subtext research. This kind of research refers to the process of decoding the consumer's innermost desires and motivations beyond surface level, as it is in one's undiscovered or unsatisfied desires that we find major business opportunities. This is what brand marketers need to look for, and it is what Lindstrom considers the principle behind the foundation of new brand development, product innovation, and enterprise development. This concludes the first part. We have discussed the information explosion and the multitude of channels available that, in turn, resulted in inaccurate analyses produced by big data. Alternatively, small data can give us a precise picture of the consumer's real needs. How to mine small data? As Lindstrom has become more experienced in building his consumer research database, he gradually came up with a comprehensive research methodology to process small data. This paved the way for an effective collection and combination of small data that could be used in different studies and analyses. Furthermore, his new technique had a narrative that was more in line with the logic of consumer behavior. This helps us reach definitive decisions in relation to brand marketing. Lindstrom calls it the 7C methodology. Let's examine its phases. The first step in this approach is collecting. To do business in a certain area, the first crucial step is to collect some information on the cultural background of the local population. Visiting local residents or businesses' people and worker, for example, hairdressers, bartenders, mailmen, can provide material for the formation of initial hypotheses that are helpful in establishing a solid basis, as well as topics of interest or focus for future visits to the customer's home. The second step is looking for clues. Once the visit officially begins, the goal is to verify whether the initial suppositions are correct. In the search for local clues that can constitute small data, it is also necessary to separate the consumer's true self from how they behave in front of others around them. The third step is connecting. Here we need to examine all the small data collected via in-depth analyses and figure out what's the connection between each clue. It is important to question, do they share a similarity? Do they validate your hypothesis? Here, it is also necessary to determine the direction we want to follow by distilling and examining those clues. The fourth step is finding correlation. The goal of this process is to find out at what stage in the consumer's life those clues arises and to analyze the correlation between small data and consumer motivation. The fifth step is identifying causation. During this phase, we need to integrate all the clues we have collected and determine what emotions the data can evoke within a person. Once again, it is necessary to reflect on what the consumer truly wants based on their personal perspectives. The sixth step is creating compensation. Thanks to the 5 steps above, we now have identified the most joyful moments in the consumer's life, as well as their unfulfilled desires. Then, the next step is coming up with a plan of compensation to use products and services to give consumers exactly what they want. Such elements constitute the foundation of a narrative that is in line with the logic of consumer behavior. This is the start point to develop brand marketing concepts. From this narrative comes the 7th and final step of Lindstrom's approach, developing a concept. Now is the time to develop solutions that can both satisfy the consumer's needs and boost the growing process of the brand. Opportunities in the unfulfilled. The 6th step, generating compensation, concerns the fulfillment of the consumer's potential needs. For consumers in a given country or region, factors such as their personal feelings and habits are always inseparable from their regional culture, religious and political beliefs. Many consumers have also been living in a familiar environment for a long time, which creates a new phenomenon: many people are not sure about what they really want. Navigating this social scenario requires a combination of various seemingly unrelated clues, such as cultural observations and consumers' perspectives. These need to be carefully analyzed. This is exactly what Lindstrom did when he was developing a new operational strategy for the American supermarket chain Lowe's Foods. He combined a series of small data provided by American culture, community culture, and consumer research together with consumers' perceptions of the chain. Thanks to this approach, he was able to understand the dynamic between the customers and the brand and identify what makes consumers feel most happy and satisfied. He succeeded in extracting the real desires of the customers, which were then used as the basis to develop its new plan of action. Lindstrom's first step was analyzing small data obtained from the American culture. American culture has always been rooted in concepts of freedom and individualism. However, in Lindstrom's perspective, quite the opposite of what people claim, Americans are not free at all. He observes that the kind of multi-ethnic and multi-racial society dynamic that happens in the U.S. is prone to culture clashes. During his visit, Lindstrom realized that, to avoid such conflicts, there were many restrictions in American behavior, not to mention the different kinds of exemptions with regards to safety in public places. These phenomena significantly compromise freedom and individualism. Next, he turned to the small data about community culture. In many gated communities found in North Carolina, where Lowe's branches are often located, there are no shopping centers or restaurants. Public squares and parks where people can get together are also lacking in such neighborhoods. People live in isolation in their own microcosm, so there are no opportunities to create or boost a traditional community culture. This explains why Americans traveling to Europe tend to be surprised when bumping into people arguing on the street, a representation of a quite normal dynamic of a community. Lindstrom realized that this pointed out to another social phenomenon: Americans miss the feeling of belonging to a community. Data obtained through consumer research showed that most of the people who buy at Lowe's are people in their 40s and 50s. Furthermore, the research also revealed that many women in American households had made it a habit of pinning their wedding photos from over 10 years ago on their fridges, as well as keeping toys in their homes. Small data review. By this point, you should have a better understanding of the content of Lindstrom's small data. The effectiveness of small mining and research based on customer emotions has attracted the attention of many renowned companies that have then established small data departments. These departments have been dedicated to monitoring the continuous changes that characterize the emotions of their customers. The most appealing aspect of small data research is that, through effective customer research, it succeeds in finding the right direction for the process of brand building. However, when applying Lindstrom's 7C methodology, some people have refuted the idea that small data research on pools composed by small groups of people can accurately represent the entire population of an area. In this regard, Lindstrom argues that a single drop of blood contains data that reveals nearly 1,000 different strains of virus. Thus, an extensive study targeting groups of consumers can be accurate enough to alter the development of a brand. Nonetheless, there are two factors that require special attention when developing new branding strategy. The first one is cultural observation. Each regional culture exerts specific influences on its people. However, sometimes it is necessary to leave such culture-specific influences out to find common elements between different individuals. As previously mentioned, only when Lindstrom closely inspected the seeming free spirit of Americans he realized that this was exactly what they were lacking. The second factor we need to consider is that each customer plays multiple social roles at the same time. This makes our understanding of consumer motivation, something that is already challenging on its own, even more complex, and not to mention unpredictable. Hence, real improvements in brand building only come after discovering and interacting with consumers' real identities. Conclusion. Small Data, The Tiny Clues That Uncover Huge Trends by Martin Lindstrom is a fascinating exploration of how seemingly insignificant details can reveal significant consumer insights. Here are 10 impactful lessons from the book. 1. Importance of observation. Observing everyday behaviors and details can provide deep insights into consumer preferences and trends. Paying attention to small details can uncover hidden patterns. 2. Cultural context matters. Understanding the cultural context is crucial. Small data points can vary significantly across different cultures, affecting consumer behavior and preferences. 3. Empathy and connection. Building empathy with consumers by understanding their daily lives and emotional triggers helps in creating more relevant and effective products and marketing strategies. 4. Holistic approach. Combining small data with big data offers a more comprehensive understanding of consumer behavior. Small data provides context and depth to the patterns identified by big data. 5. Human touch. Personal interactions and face-to-face observations can yield insights that data analytics alone cannot provide. The human touch is essential for uncovering subtle nuances. 6. Significance of rituals. Everyday rituals and habits reveal a lot about consumer values and priorities. These rituals can be key to understanding consumer loyalty and brand attachment. 7. Innovation through insight. Small data can inspire innovative ideas by highlighting unmet needs or overlooked opportunities. It encourages thinking outside the box and approaching problems creatively. 8. Attention to detail. Small details, like the layout of a room or the contents of a refrigerator, can provide significant insights into consumer preferences and lifestyle choices. 9. Consumer journey. Mapping the consumer journey and understanding the touchpoints where small data is collected can enhance the overall customer experience and satisfaction. 10. Continuous learning. The process of gathering and interpreting small data is ongoing. Continuously observing, questioning, and adapting based on new insights is essential for staying relevant and responsive to consumer needs.